Hello. You know what this is? This is a winter weight boa. I have no idea what it's made of, and it's not feathers, but you know what? It's warm and it's orange. And really, after that, who cares? It's not fattening, I don't think. In any case, I saw it and I thought, not a lot of people are going to buy one of these. But it's minus a ton out there. And then on top of that, the wind, it's like the wind was on sale. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, we got all this and it's only half price. Let's buy more, said Mother Nature. It's just howling out there. So, and yesterday we had freezing stuff, and earlier than that we had snow. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say I think winter has arrived, which is why, how timely was this, that this also arrived in the mail. So, okay, I just had to, it's ridiculous and it's wonderful. And it's literally a boa. And now here I am. I don't want to be totally distracting you. So I'm Abby Haggard. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to my tiny corner of the world. This is my office in my little apartment. And I'm on the 15th floor and I overlook stuff. And I didn't have to go out yesterday in the sliding stuff. So, all things are good. And then, of course, this, what can I say? So what I want to talk about today, and before I go there, thank you. My goodness, I keep getting these notifications from LinkedIn. People are checking out the videos. People are giving thumbs up in more numbers, like that LinkedIn is saying this many people this week, which is lovely, because what that is that's a conversation starting over there and over there and over there. And I'm not the one starting it. I'm posting the videos, but I'm not over there beating people over the head to say, look at me, look at me. This is just kind of somebody saw a ripple and good morning, Maggie. And somebody saw a ripple and went to investigate, and then they told somebody. And that's really how the conversation begins. We say or do something that kind of disrupts the flow, and somebody says, what was that? And somebody else says, what was that? Did you see that? Did you see that? And then the conversation is organic and it starts by itself. That is the kindest and gentlest and most effective way to get people excited about something, is when they think they discovered it. They don't feel that you came up and hit them over the head with it, So the thing I want to talk about today, there's an expression out there that they're using in financial circles, and it's called a wind-chill economy. And the wind-chill economy is defined as a feeling, a sense, an assumption that the dollar isn't going as far, that our buying power isn't as great, that things are more difficult, whether or not that's true. It's the feeling that it is. And as everybody knows, when they stop and think about it, people make decisions based on how they feel. They even if it's pure logic, they feel confident, they feel good about the logic, and then they make the decision to go. In the same yet opposite way with Pivotry and motion, when you are not feeling good, finally, and it's painful enough, finally, the part of you says, all right, that's it, we're done. And this is when real change, driven by us, has a chance of catching on and continuing. So back to this phrase, wind-chill economy. And I thought, for those of us who are not playing the stock market, and we, our vast fortune comes up in 3 figures, we're not really thinking about the economy so much. I think for the civilians among us, what we're really talking about is wind-chill reality. And my definition of a wind-chill reality is that things are more bleak than they really are. That the outlook is not as good as it actually is. And that we have begun to hunker down shoulders up, feeling overwhelmed. To me, that's the definition of Windchill reality. Hang on a second. Oh, cheers, by the way. So good on the throat. So this is what I want to talk about on this very cold, very blustery. So it's minus everything. And then you add wind speed, which, as you know, if you want to cool off your hot beverage, you create the wind shear across the top of it and the temperature cools. So it feels a lot colder. And then if you step outside and you can actually get the brunt of the wind, you think, gah, you want to go back in. And so I want to talk about that because there's this kind of odd lull. It's like the aftermath of the ta-da. We did Thanksgiving and we did pre-Christmas, and then we did Christmas. We got together and we got the gifts and we got the blah, blah, blah. And now it's a week later and we're looking forward to the new year, or we're not looking forward to the new year, or we're bracing ourselves either way for the new year. Because have we made any resolutions? Did they work before? All that kind of conversation that we're having with ourselves. And all of that can contribute to a letdown. Ta-da, letdown. And we've just been through ta-da, 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 letdown. So, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, nothing. And people don't really know what to do. They walk around eating leftovers and turkey sandwiches because they can't think of anything else to do. And is anything open today? And am I supposed to go and take the garbage out? And did the mail come? And is that still on sale? And what am I supposed to do? And do I have to change the dates on things? And it's sort of a wandering around muttering period of time. And when do we take the tree down if we put one up? That stuff. It isn't exciting. It's blah. So I want to talk about a hack that I came across by accident. And it's so effective that people don't believe me until they try it. So here's how it works. And it's actually a spin-off from what I learned to do a long time ago when I first started doing live events. Because a live event, it's not like going to work and waiting for coffee break and then waiting for lunch and then taking a break when you can and going to the bathroom and wondering how long you can stay there before somebody notices you're not at your desk. That's not a live event. A live event is a time when people have been planning to come. People are excited. They bought a ticket. They chose what to wear. And they're planning to spend the day, or as long as it lasts, because it's magic. It's an event. So if I am part of the event and people are coming to see me, but they're not saying I'll be there at 10:15. They're saying I'm going to be there all day. I can't wait to see you. Okay, that means you can go crazy standing on one leg waiting for them and then realizing that they decided to come at 4:30 or not at all. Or you can take ownership of the day and do it the way I do it. So first of all, my premise is they bought a ticket. They planned the day. They already invested in the opportunity. The least I can do is match that. Especially if I am part of the destination, I am part of the reason they came. So I learned a long time ago that when we get excited about stuff, we have a hormone, we have adrenaline. The brain says, all right, something's happening, stuff is happening. Let's get the old adrenaline up just in case it's dangerous. Because that brain doesn't understand excitement. That brain only understands life and death. So it sends the message to the place that releases the adrenaline. How much adrenaline? Well, in spurts, the way you see animals, they run and run and run and they chase and chase and chase and then they stop. Everybody stops and goes, and then all of a sudden they're ready again and they run some more. And eventually somebody gets hit. But they stop. And sometimes they stop 10 feet from each other and they're just exhausted. What are they doing? They're recharging. They're going and getting more adrenaline. And everybody seems to understand it's a break, stand down. People aren't like that. People think they're supposed to keep going. So here's what I do. I ask myself, how long am I supposed to be there? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, however long I'm supposed to be there. That is how much adrenaline and focus I need at my disposal on demand that day. I'm going to add an hour for 30 minutes of the front end and 30 minutes of the back end so I don't fall down while I'm getting in the car to go home. And then what I do is I plan very short breaks, really short, not long enough to lose momentum. This is the mistake people make. They think, I'm going to take an hour break, I'm going to have a half-hour nap, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go for lunch. Big mistake. Why? Because your body thinks we're safe and it stops. And then when it realizes, oh, wait, we're back, it has to start at the beginning again. That brain doesn't understand it's showtime. So the time it takes you to gear back up is exhausting, and you're anxious that you're not ready, that you don't really have yourself in the right state of mind. So instead, what I do is I have very small snacks, bite-sized, something I can just pop in my mouth, not something I bite into and get all over my teeth, just something I can chew on. Different things, maybe a grape, maybe a couple of grapes, maybe some little cubes of cheese, maybe some meat, everything very small, high protein, some carbs, nothing gooey, nothing that's going to make me tired. So very little starch. And what I'm going to do then is periodically, and I keep a little container periodically, just eat something and chew on it. Sip some water. Don't drink a lot of water, just sip some water. And gradually what happens is my body gets into that rhythm and it realizes that fuel is coming in constant, small, predictable bursts. So my body doesn't worry and get distracted by that. What also happens is that my adrenaline comes up, and with adrenaline and that excitement and that energy, I'm warm, not hot, not overheated, but I'm also not anxious and chilled and nervous and cold. I'm not experiencing wind chill. I'm certainly not experiencing wind shear either. I'm in a great state of flow where everything is going at a pace that I dictate. So I do that at every show, at every live show. Sometimes I forget to eat and somebody has to go get me something. And that's okay. That's their job. I'm the one who's supposed to be here in case somebody's coming. So back now to this phenomenon, this weird time out of time period where we don't have any incentive to be excited about anything. We are exhausted. We have been excited for too long. It's like the kid who was given too much candy over time, just absolutely done. How do we maintain a good mindset? How do we maintain a good energy? How do we maintain a normal and everyday happy enthusiasm? This is the hack. This is the hack. Pick a goal. One. My goal today, I actually have 3. I put up 2 fingers. I actually have 3. Obviously the video, obviously talking to you, obviously getting your feedback. My next goal is this amazing project that I have been working on since 2018. And I mentioned it on Facebook on the 29th, which was yesterday. I made a decision on that day, that many years ago, that I had made a mistake. Good intentions, survivor techniques, and it was working. The problem was in making that decision, in setting that plan in motion, I had given up. I had abandoned the truest part of me. I had felt that I could not afford both. And I had been doing what I was doing for a long time. And every day I felt it. Every day, the Windchill Reality kind of hit deeper, kind of sunk its fingernails in. Not big, not scary, not depression worthy, not sobbing brokenly, not awake at night, just that kind of sigh. And I began hearing it at weird periods, moments, interruptions. And I would think, what is that? What is that? And then one day, that day, I had a little talk with me. I sat there and I said, okay, what am I doing? What is this? What has happened? And I took out my notepad and I wrote down everything that I was doing. I don't mean that day. I was working. I was alive. I had a safe space to live. I was not connecting with very many people, but I had been through a lot. So it was okay to give myself permission, except that I hadn't been through a lot in a while. I was still carrying that excuse to not step up. I had been through a lot. I'd probably been through more than a lot of people in a fairly extensive period of time. And I was giving myself permission to stay there, to stay in a kind of a victim mindset, a victim clawing up from the bottom to make it, to pull herself up and out and sit on the sidelines and go, whew, okay, give me a minute. But then a minute turned into hours, and hours turned into days and weeks and months and years. And all of a sudden on that day, I thought, I don't like this. I don't like this version of me. I don't like the way it feels as though I've settled for something. I've never settled for anything. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? How long have I been doing it? And as I sat there, I thought, it kind of doesn't matter how long, because the longer I look back, the further away my solution is. I'm not facing the right way. So that day, I decided to write a list of what I wanted. Short list. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to feel the way I feel when I'm doing the things I just love. And I wasn't feeling that. I was feeling this. Fine, it's fine. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. But anytime I've asked somebody, what do you think of this dress? And they say, it's fine. I've wanted to burn the dress. So I don't want a dress that's fine. I want a dress that's, oh my God. Does that come in all the colors? Get all the colors. That's what I want. And somehow I'd stopped feeling that way. I'd stopped focusing on that. I'd stopped enjoying the prospect of that. I'd sacrificed something essential. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the outcome. I was safe, yes, but I wasn't excited. I wasn't looking forward to the next moment. I was doing the work and it was working, but it wasn't any fun. The fun quotient had gone. And you know, as I heard that expression, wind chill economy, and I thought wind chill reality, I realized that was where I was. I had allowed myself to stay stuck, standing in the wind, allowing it to buffet me, to chill me to the bone, to make me want to just hide until it was over. except that it's never over until we choose, until we say, and that's enough of that. And so that was the day, the 29th of December. I said, today, I choose me. So now, that was the day, by the way, that Pivotry in motion, the phrase, the term, the concept, the definition, the visual hit me. That was the day I found the image of birds encased in chains, breaking free. And I thought, there, that's me. And I captured that image. I licensed it. And I printed it. And I stuck it on the wall in front of my computer screen. And I looked at it every day. That's me. The breaking of the chain is the moment we decide. Not good enough for me. Might have been good enough for yesterday, but not good enough for me today. And I realized that when I made that decision, a different Abby, an original Abby, inner child Abby, was poking her head out saying, are we back? Are we back? Awesome, we're back. Hey, everybody, we're back. And all the excited versions of me said, finally. And that's what I think is a smart idea for the end of this year, this shedding of unhelpfuls snake year, according to the Chinese zodiac. I think it's finally, yes, come on in out of the wind, for heaven's sake. What you need is a winter boa so you don't catch a chill. What you need is a focus that gives you permission to say, here I am, I'm doing this, we're doing this. That's when the later folder popped into my head. I'd used it for years and years and years when I was coaching actors. Young actors, emerging actors, they'd show up carrying all of the dreck from their day and they'd walk in all schlumpy. And I would say, no, you don't. Come here, outside. You're being paid by the people who bought a ticket. This is their event. And you're not bringing that stuff onto the stage to fling at them. They don't deserve that. So here's a folder. Here's a piece of paper. Write down whatever's bothering you. I'll wait. What? Whatever's bothering you. What is all this thing? What? I don't care. Don't tell me. Write it down. Put it in the folder. Come with me. Where did you park? Walk to the car with me. Open the door. Put the folder on the passenger seat. Close the door. Lock the door. All ready? It's in there. Whatever that problem was, it's in there. Okay? Shoulders back. It's showtime. Let's do this. And it worked. Why did it work? Because I'm not telling anyone they should abandon the burden. It's your burden. Don't abandon your burden. We will figure out what to do with your burden to get it dealt with rather than just lugging it around with you. But not in this moment. In this moment, we need you fully present, 100%, out of the wind, facing forward, in it, fully committed. We can discuss that later. And what would happen is when they realized they had permission and they weren't going to forget it and they weren't being told it wasn't important and they weren't being made fun of because what's wrong with you? For heaven's sake, you need to blah, 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 blah. No, no, no. It's important. If it's burdening you, it's important. It just doesn't get to be important number one right now because people need you. I need you. They need you. They're excited. They're looking forward to it. They can't wait to see you. You got to present 100% of you just for now. How long? So when I do my adrenaline maneuver, I say, how long? Not how long, oh Lord, not that, but how much time is expected of me? Fully present, 100%, leaning in, firing on all burners. How much? 2 hours, 3, 15 minutes, half a day, the weekend? Okay. That is how I will fuel my tanks. That is how I will prepare. And I'll add 30 minutes at the front end and 30 minutes at the back so I don't fall down on the way where I need to go. So how much time am I to invest? How hard do I have to work? If, for instance, it is an emergency and I have to be fully alert, 100% nonstop, as opposed to fully present, accounted for, strong and reliable, two different things. Both 100%, but one is high gear and the other is mid gear. None of it is in first gear and none of it is in reverse. 0 is in park. So when we think about our commitment to the day, to the people that we are invested in, to the things we are invested in, we can organize our commitment to it. We can make it work in a way that doesn't overwhelm. And I'm going to tell you the two things that happen as a result. When you're excited, time goes fast. When you're invested, time goes fast. When you're committed, when you're focused, when you're paying attention, when you're looking at possibilities and checking and double checking, not crazy, not OCD, but just making sure and saying, all right, cast off. We're on the move. We're on the move. We're on the move. You're fully present. And you know what? That thinking, that planning, that intention, that purpose, that passion, that focus, your shoulders are back. You're breathing well. You're on a mission. And there's no wind chill. You are fueled from within. You're driving the bus. And our reality responds to us. We're not chasing the outcome. We are the outcome. We are the destination. And without you, as I say every video, twice a week, without you, it's a rehearsal. Without you, I have to find another trigger, another purpose that empowers me to go through this process. So I'm going to explain it again to make sure you don't miss the steps. Number 1, what is the commitment? What are you supposed to do? What is being asked of you? What have you agreed to? What is the commitment? How long is this commitment expected to last? Rough time, just 15 minutes? Do I just have to entertain people in an elevator? And we're already on the 3rd floor? Got it. If it's a long walk around the park, got it. Totally different commitment. If it's an all-day event, got it. Easily a totally different commitment. When I know what is expected of me and for how long, then I know how much time and intention and focus it's going to require of me to get my adrenaline where it needs to be. Because the adrenaline is my fuel. Then I have to make sure to remember to bring food and mark out short bursts of time that I give myself permission to leave. Tell everyone 5 minutes and I'll be back. Don't go away. If I can make it in 3, I'll be back even sooner. Tell them not to leave. I'm here for them today. People will wait for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Not every 5 minutes, not every half hour, but they will wait. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Well, how long is she going to be? Literally, she left a minute ago. She said maximum 5 minutes. She's just gone to the bathroom. She's just had to go and get. They'll be right back. Oh, okay, because we were kind of hoping to. Oh, here she is. That kind of thing. I do my best to make sure that people who invested their time and their curiosity and their excitement and their passion are not disappointed, because it's a partnership. So what is expected of me, for how long, and then plan accordingly. And when it's coming to an end, you begin the next cycle, not of allowing yourself to droop and drag and slow down, but to congratulate yourself and everyone with you that we're doing it. We're doing it. Not we did it, not we're done. No, we've got an hour left. We're not done, but we're doing it. This has been an amazing commitment. We're on it. We got it. Why? Because that excitement and that pride of performance is what carries us through as we begin to shut down and say our goodbyes. It carries us through and over those final 30 minutes to get us to the other side, to get us home, to get the boat tied up, to walk the dock, to finally have a chance to sit down. So the Windchill reality is what happens to us when we forget why we came and what our purpose is. Because survival is fundamental, but it's not the only game. Surviving is what animals do on the daily. Our body, our brain helps us survive on the daily. But we're also here to thrive and grow and ride the winds of change, to crest the wave. And how we do that is when we feel the wind chill coming, we get our best winter boa and have the good sense to get in out of the rain. You don't have to stand facing the wind. You can turn, you can pivot, you can find another way. So here we are. It's the 30th of December. Yesterday was the anniversary of my decision to say, yeah, I'm changing the game. And as I said in print yesterday, best decision I ever made. No exceptions. And that's what I wish for all of us as we come to the end of an extraordinary year, a year of so much change. One of the projects I'm working on that I'm so excited about, so proud of, is with my good friend Maggie, who found herself ready for her change moment. And we began talking about something, and we suddenly both realized that we were seeing this situation from a different position, from a different angle than everyone else. Random fluke, no idea. Maybe not so random. Maybe the universe was saying, here you go, Maggie. My gift to you. And by the way, here's Abby, she'll explain it to you. And this opportunity, the excitement that is embedded in it, woven into it, is galvanizing the way everyone in her circle of influence is experiencing each day. Because every idea, every action creates a ripple effect, and the ripple effects never stop. They bump into each other and create more. I'm not suggesting that you need to come up with something utterly game-changing for 2026. That's not what I did. What I did was I said, no more. No more of that. Well, thank you, Maggie. No more of that, because that feels flat. That feels stale. That feels old. That feels tired. And I am none of those things. That is making me feel cold. It is making me feel less than. When I know I was born more of. A lot of people have said so. And I know they mean it in the nicest possible way. So this is what my goal is for me coming into 2026, is to find the focus that has that element of magic. Find the visual in my head. Find the way it tastes and sounds and smells. Find the elements that give off that frisson of whatever that is. Give them a name. Welcome them every day. Good morning, crazy idea. Good to see you. Let's have some coffee and discuss it. I began doing that on the 29th of December in 2018. Its name is Pivotry in Motion. A pivot is a hard turn, a sudden hard turn, an abrupt hard turn, not a lot of warning. We can't perform that action before we think of it, before we decide, before we know. And that experience, that shift, that transformation that takes place here and here and here, that's Pivotry. That's an art form. That's magic. That is the chameleon quality in us that says, I'm walking here. That is what we were born with. That is what sets us apart. That is what makes us unique in the universe of living creatures. It is so embedded within us, we don't even know it's there. And for those of us who are worried, feeling lost, feeling empty, the fact that it's just there embedded in us doesn't help, because we can't see, we don't know that our moment is within our grasp. I discovered mine, and I have now been building, coordinating, creating, connecting, collaborating to bring it to life, to show you the doorway, to show you the window, to show you the moment, the opportunity that is waiting for you, because it's yours. It's waiting for you to turn your head and say, oh, well, how long have you been waiting there? Come on in. The weather's fine. This is our year looming. This is our Pivotry moment together. The tribe we are building is called the lion effect. We don't get there on our own. We're not meant to do this solo. We surround ourselves with the people who get it and walk with us side by side to help us get from where we are to the other side. That's why it's called a pride. The lion effect is recognizing who you are. who you've always been, who you were meant to be. It's making that decision that I made on that day to stop abandoning me, to stop pretzeling myself into the smallest form I could find in order to comply. That's not why we're here. We're here to spread our wings and fly. So this is how I feel about where so many of us are today. I look around me and I see, because I was there originally, I see the Windchill reality that people are leaning this way in and that way in, sighing through. I see it, I hear it, I feel it. And I don't see it and hear it and feel it because I'm a genius. I see it and hear it and feel it because I stood there too. And it took me a while. It took me a long while to forgive myself for things that were not mine to own, things that I was carrying that were not made by me, but I felt somehow they were my burden to carry. And I thought, well, why am I doing that? What benefit is that? It's keeping me stuck. It's keeping me feeling alone and lost and cold. I'm not that kind of person. No one is. No one is. We are warm and we are curious and we are happy. And it's time for us to return to that, to thank all the in-between versions of us for the lessons. And now, the way they say after a commercial break, and we're back. Because we can be. As soon as we say, what if? What if? You know where to find me to discuss this. I'm a CEO. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started businesses. I've helped, guided, shaped, branded multimillionaires. I've helped them change their paths. I've walked kids, kind of curious, not really sure, a little bit cocky, through the awkward stages to find their places in the world. I've helped people find their way back to their relationships that matter. My Viking ancestors were navigators and storytellers. And I'm carrying the tradition. I'm using stories to help you figure out where you are, who you are, and where you want to be. So, if you're feeling a little confused and befuddled and chilly, you know where to find me. And let's fix it. All right? Let's do this. You deserve it. Okay. In 2 days, we begin again. In 2 days. You don't need to make a resolution. You need to embrace your resolve to say, I'm walking here. That's all it takes. And tell the universe, I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's make it awesome. See what happens. Until next week, be good to you. Do all this stuff. It works. Remember to hug your loved ones. You deserve it too. And I will catch you next time. Thank you for making this the magic it's become.